of Worcester and John Czernicki of Webster on Candlepin Doubles. Hi everyone, I'm Brian Leary. Well, they're back going for 3 in a row, Joe and John Stella, and actually they've had a couple of cliffhangers the last couple of weeks, but each week they've been successful, and each week as a result they've pocketed the $500 top prize. The runners-up, of course, get $300 and all kinds of bonus money as well. In fact, they were able to pick up $100 in bonus money last week for 4 marks in a row. Any combination of 3 marks or more is worth $50 in bonus money. Any combination of 3 strikes in a row, well, there's no combination. You got to get 3 strikes in a row. Is worth $1,000 in bonus money and an extra $1,000 for each strike on top of that. And for a 2-string total of $275 or more, an extra payout of $200. They came within 1 pin of that a week ago, so that's something maybe they can improve on this time around. All right, let's get on with it. For the champs, it'll be Joe Stella, and for the challengers, John Czernicki will lead it off. Well, that's quite a start. John Czernicki with a strike in the first. And Joe Stella with a spare in the first. And we're off to the races here. Joe Stella is from Winthrop. He has 1 child, Cheryl Ann, just 3 months old. Joe works and bowls at Central Park Lanes in East Boston. Spread eagle. Almost a double.
All right, Joe, pick him up.
And a spare on top of the strike, so a quick 6-pin lead for the challengers. And a nice 10 by Joe Stella. 24 through a couple for the champs and 30 plus for the challengers.
Throw that hammer, Joey.
Six on the spare, 36 through 2. Nice spare. Baby, what a spare. So Joe with 2 marks in his first 3 frames, has 34 plus in the third. John with 9:45 then for John Czernicki and Paul Wambach. Seven on the spare, 41 through 3. The challenger's lead is 4 pins.
Come on, Joey.
2 in a row.
All right.
John Czernicki is from Webster. He's married with 1 daughter. John works as a truck driver, has a high single of 197, a high triple of 455, and he carries a 124 average. John has 55 through the first 4. Joe Stella at 51 plus a bonus ball. 51 plus every single one of them. And that's 3 marks in a row and $50 in bonus money. John now trying to convert the 8 and 10 all around it. John Czernicki takes a 10.
Come on, Johnny, you got it.
65 through 5, which is pretty good bowling. However, up against him on the other side, we have Joe Stella working on a strike, and already he's at 71. So 71 plus a couple of bonus balls for our champions, Joe and John Stella, and 65 for Paul Wambach and John Czernicki after 5. Paul Wambach and John Stella will be up to finish off the opening. John Stella steps up, working on his brother Joe's strike. And Paul Wambach now.
Pick it up, Johnny, pick it up.
Nine on the strike. So that's 80 through the first 5. And the champions right now lead by 17 pins. John Stella works for Right Way TV as a computer operator. Carries a high single of 184 and an average of 128. John has a high triple of 459. He and Joe Stella made it here with a 1277 in their roll-off. They're representing Olindy's in Quincy. Paul Wambach and John Czernicki had a 1398 in their roll-off. They're representing Colonial Lanes in Worcester. The lead now down to a dozen with 3 to go. In case you're wondering, after that 80-pin start through the first 5, what our all-time highs are, our all-time 2-string total is 307. Dennis Chick and Bill Robbins. Oh, what a spare. John Stella, a beautiful spare in the 8th. 307 is a high 2-string total. Paul Berger and Det Klein also teamed up for 307. Bill Gover and Brian Uphold just a year ago teamed up for 303. And that despite the fact that they had a 196 in their first string. The 196 is our all-time high single string total. On the spare. 7. 111 through 8. Strike for Paul Wambach. Nine and 120 through 9 for John and Joe Stella. The challengers stand at 102 plus 2. Strike for John Stella in the 10th. Oh, Wambach on a strike. Paul Wambach finishes up with a 9 and a 119 opening string. John Stella now is at 132 with with one more bonus ball to roll. 139. Good, strong opening string, and maybe they will make another bid at the 275. They fell just a pin shy a week ago, remember, but more importantly, they're 20 pins up in the opening match. For Joe and John Stella looking for their third straight win, a 139 for Paul Wambach and John Czernicki. Our challengers, 119. We'll be back with the second and deciding string right after this. He's stepping up, knowing he needs to pick up 20 pins. John's brother Ed was with us just a couple of weeks ago. Although, as each of them was quick to point out, I kept referring to Ed as John. They make so many appearances, it's hard to keep them straight. The Stellas add 2 more pins. The lead is 22 now, with 9 to go. And while Joe Stella was throwing, you'll see what happened on lane 4 here. All but the head pin came tumbling down. And it's still standing. Couple of tens. The lead is still 22. So both teams have cooled down a little bit. Joe and John Stella now at 29 through 3. Paul Wambach and John Czernicki at 25. That's a little better. John Czernicki needs just a 6-pin for spare. And he's got it. And Joe Stella has got it. Great spare. The 4 horsemen right side and the 8-pin go down. Matching marks in the 4th now. The Stella is still holding on to a 24-pin lead. There they go. They went down in a hurry, didn't they? A strike on the spare in the 5th. And John Czernicki takes 9.49. So it's up to Paul Wambach. He needs a bundle of marks now. The Stella's at 59 plus 2 bonus balls. All right, here's the first bonus ball now. So it's 8 on the strike. 67 through 5 for the Stellas. And 75 through 6 John's got the 5-pin down there, but it's pretty well surrounded. He's got it. That's a good shot. A spare in the 7th now. 85 plus through 7. So for the 2 strings, they're at 224. Means with the bonus ball and 3 more boxes, they need 51 pins in order to get to the 275 for an extra 2. They're pretty well in command of the match. 6 in the spare, 91 through 7. Paul takes 9 and 78. John with a 10 and 101. So John would need 35 pins in the final 2 to get to 275. So for the 3rd straight week, John and Joe Stella will be our champions. John takes an 8. 109. The lead is 41 pins at this point. And John would pretty much need a triple in order to get to 275 too. The spare in the 10th. Paul Wambach finishes up with a 10, 98. And a 2-string total of 217. And John Stella finishes up with a 7 on the spare. A 126 and a good, strong 2-string total of 265. Boy, in the last couple of weeks, they have really bowled well with a 274 and then a 265 here today. There's the final. Joe and John Stella, 265. Paul Wambach and John Czernicki, 217. They do it again for the 3rd straight week. We'll be back with everyone right after this. John Stella. We'll talk to them in a minute, but first we'll say goodbye to Paul Wambach and John Czernicki. It was brief here. Poor Tara is a little subdued here because she's disappointed in the way Dad bowled. Huh?
That was our cheerleader, but she didn't cheer hard enough, I guess.
Well, maybe that was it. Now, the last time we were talking to Ed, your brother, a few weeks ago, he said that you were supposed to bowl with him in the roll-off. You couldn't because of this great bass fishing tournament. Now, we've all been just itching to find out how it turned out.
That was a cold day. We got rained on and came in, I think, 4th or 5th, something like that. Oh, good.
So you should have come here anyway. It didn't matter. Paul, we were talking before you were away from bowling for a year or so and then came back. Why'd you take the year off?
I was slumping really bad. I should have stayed away a little longer as it turned out. But I'm back. I feel a little better than when I left the game. So I feel okay. I'll be okay.
All right, you'll get it going the next time. Paul Wambach and John Czernicki, thanks. And Tara, thank you. And now Joe Stella and John Stella, they do it again. Let's see. We've got $500 for winning, $50 in bonus money this time, so another $550. That cash register's getting full, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, I can use it.
Yeah. You guys on a roll now after 3 weeks in a row? Or you both average 128, so you used to bowl on this well.
I'm way off. He's carrying me. Yeah. He's doing a good job.
Yeah, this is the first time you've been on the double show. What about the single show? How successful had you been?
5 wins, 5 losses.
Yeah.
Well,
that's pretty good. All right, well, we got one more for you coming up next week. You get 3 in a row. You'll be after 4 in a row next week. We're not sure who the opposition will be, but someone will be here to try to stop these guys who really have it going. 274 last week, over 260 this week. That's some bowling. For everyone here at Fairway Sports World and Natick Now, have a good afternoon.